Alola! I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Marshadow. Now this is a mythical Pokemon, so it's reasonable to have your expectations low. You look at history, and I don't really feel like too much of them have had the best choices after, at least after Gen 3. I feel like Mew, Celebi, and Jirachi had some decent ones, but after that, Legendaries and Mythicals kind of just fell off the face of the earth in terms of quality nicknames. I was thinking about it, I was like, why does Lunala and Solgaleo suck? Oh right, Dialga and Palkia sucked too. Alright, well, Hawaiian Punch was technically something we saw before. I don't know if we saw it or if I mentioned it, but I remember that being the highlight or one that I talked about during the Crabrawler episode because I know I saw it before during the Crabrawler episode and thinking, oh, that's really clever because he's Hawaiian and he does the punch. So yeah, that's fine, and I like that, and I suppose Marshadow could work too. There's not really a reason it can't, but I feel like Crabrawler is just a little bit better because it's a boxing Pokemon. And then, I don't know, would you really consider Mythicals as part of the region? There's nothing really particular about Marshadow that says, hey, yeah, I'm from Alola. Midnight, I'm gonna acknowledge just for the sake of it and move on. I mean, I guess it makes sense in the sense of like, oh, well, it's part of the shadows and stuff like that, so you could argue that if you wanted to, but it just doesn't gravitate towards me for that. I just want to say I've seen this 1,000 times already. I don't. I'm gonna Google Marshmallow. Cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. Marshadow. I feel like it's meant to be a play off of Mallow or something like that from Mario RPG, but I don't know. I've seen it 1,000 times. It's not getting any better. Okay. So this one, it got me because just, I don't know, a lot of people are comparing to food here. We got too much marshmallows, we got some more here, eye candy. And I've always looked at Marshadow and thought, candle? Because, you know, he got the fire eyes. It looks like they're kind of like flames, and he's like a candle and wispy and stuff. And it doesn't actually says, it just says shadow boxing. So it's like, it's kind of like Hitmontop, where it's based off a word, but literalized, which is, you know, that's kind of a nice idea. But I don't know, a lot of people go towards food, and I'm just not on board for that. But I mean, food-based nicknames are fine. Marshmallow is not fine because that is half of its fucking half of its official name already. Don't do that. But I will, you know, highlight this just in case any of these appear interesting to you. But so far, Marshadow's a dud. At least this guy gets it. Fuck. Okay, though, we've reached the bottom, and, like, Wiki Bayonetta. This was just some weeb doofus making up fan fiction of his own fictional Marshadow. I just want to specify that. This is nothing. This we just looked at, and it was mostly just Marshmallow. What's a Marshadow? We looked at that. This is nothing. This is nothing. Mostly just Marshmallow. We sort of looked at that, and this is nothing. Too many nickgrams going on here. We don't have any comment suggestions. We don't have anything on the spreadsheet. I don't have any recommendations. I don't nickname legendaries, but I will tell you the one thing I thought to myself, and this is the problem with getting your hopes up on a type combination that it fits the dynamic you want. I always said to myself, I'm like, if we get a good ghost fighting, you know, you could name it Biff Atlas, like the weightlifter ghost in Luigi's Mansion. I always thought Biff Atlas was just hilarious because you literally twat him with a punching bag and he gets mad at you. Like, there was no part of my child brain that didn't find that entertaining. So Biff Atlas, it's also just a funny name in addition to a funny boss fight, we'll call it. So yeah, I was all about that. But once we got our ghost fighting, I was like, damn, this doesn't fit Biff Atlas at all. And I mean, we've got Annihilate now too, but I still wouldn't put Biff Atlas on that. So even though it's like, you know, Biff Atlas, the perfect ghost fighting nickname, there's not a particular Pokemon that I feel fits it yet, even with a type combination. Same thing with Sub-Zero, the perfect ice fighting nickname. Oh, we've got Crabrawler. You can't always set your hopes too high on that. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit more flexible. But that's that. Marshadow was a bust. If you don't like Marshmallow, well, I guess you should just kill yourself. So I'll see you guys in the afterlife because Marshmallow is a terrible name. I mean, it's not a terrible name. It's just a terrible name for a Marshadow, you know? Like, if you wanted to call your fucking Pidgeot Omelet, I wouldn't care. You call your execute Omelet, it becomes less inspired, you know? It's just, it's stuff like that. You can, sometimes certain nicknames work better for certain Pokemon and just don't work on certain Pokemon, and this is just my stance. Everything's subjective, remember that. This entire channel is subjective. That's why I put things in your hands so you can tell me what comment ideas and suggestions you would recommend, what you've used, things like that. This isn't always about me. I'm the mouthpiece that just starts this discussion because no one else on YouTube decided to. So I'm just doing that, but now you guys can take it into your hands and make it all about you. And everyone has a voice and everyone can be heard. And then we have a voting system thanks to YouTube's like button, as long as I don't get rid of that, because YouTube likes to get rid of everything. So here's to hoping we still have the power to vote.